Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am so happy to start my day with all of you. I love when we get to use the YWTV show as an opportunity to share some of the great collaborations that YWCA of Northern New Jersey has in place to help elevate our mission in the community. And today we have one of our favorite and such gratitude for the partnership with the Bergen County Division of Senior Services. They have so many wonderful programs, so much happening over there. A few years ago, when we'll talk about this today, a few years ago, we kind of joined forces, and we've been doing some great work for our community thanks to the partnership. We know that staying socially active as you age really reduces the risk for various physical and mental health issues. So important and so key. By constantly engaging in activities and interacting with others, you're not only keeping your mind sharp, but you're also reducing the risk of cognitive decline. Today, we have Brianna Greenberg. She is the JACC, which we'll talk about what that means, care coordinator for the Bergen County Department of Human Services and the Division of Senior Services. And we're going to talk to her about the various programs that the county offers to support well-being of this important part of our population. Before we jump in and talk about that, let's talk about Brianna a little bit and tell you about her. So in case you don't know her, she brings over 20 years of experience to connecting older adults and their caregivers to vital community services, and that can help them stay healthy and independent. She received her MPA from Kane University and has a focus in health services and has her certification as an assisted living administrator. She serves as the care coordinator for the Jersey Assistance Community Caregiver Program. That's the JACC, folks. Figured it out. That program for information. She's an assistance specialist and a presenter to the community and professional organizations. This led her to advocate for older adults as the chairperson for the Northern New Jersey Senior Care Network and a member for Adult Services Committee, the Human Services Advisory Council, and she's also connected to several age-friendly communities in our area. And so with that, welcome, Brianna. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, let's start by, filling folks in, our viewers, in case they're not aware. Can you tell them a little bit about the department over at the county and the work that you do?
Sure. So we are the Older Adults Aging and Disability Resource Connection. We are the Division of Senior Services and the Area Agency on Aging. We have been around since 1965. We are the oldest area agency on aging in the United States. And we came along with the Older Americans Act. And our goal is to help promote the social health and well-being of our older adults in Bergen County. And there's over 220,000 of them. And we're here to provide information assistance towards what their needs may be.
Yeah. And I have to say, I mean, it's, congratulations for being, really, creating history, for our community here locally with the work you do. I remember many, many moons ago when I was an intern at the Department of Human Services, when I was in graduate school in my 20s. So that was a long time ago. Gloria Lane at the time was the head of your senior services department. And I remember, doing some work as an intern, with the department then. And, back then you guys were historic in terms of the work that you're doing. And it's amazing to now watch it at this point in my career as a CEO and partner with, how much the department does. And I also wear another hat as a consumer, as I, often share on YWTV that my 91-year-old mother has been living with me through COVID. She's been very active in so many of your programs. So, we really can see the impact that your department has had on the community. So, with that, let's talk a little bit about COVID and how it has impacted the our aging adults in our community.
So first and foremost, it was a huge impact on Bergen County. It was huge. We had areas where folks became homebound that were never homebound before, just to stay in place and shelter in place to stay safe. We had folks whose health was deteriorating because they lost the ability to socialize. Our providers shut down, so we were finding other creative ways to get resources to folks, and everything from getting their medications delivered to just getting them hooked up on the internet just so that they could have a telehealth appointment with their doctor. So it became quite vast. And to all our providers, I say cheers to them, because people really stepped up to the plate for this. Even our office area, the Area Agency on Aging, we added funding to different providers. So community transportation was given funding to partner with Easy Ride just to get people to the vaccinations before we were getting in-home vaccinations. In-home vaccinations are available. You can call us here at the county and we'll provide you ways on how to get that. We also found that based on a community needs assessment, folks no longer had the ability to meet with their family members who may have been paying bills and manage money. So we ended up adding a provider, Silver Bills, and the Brightside family, so that now there's a way to take a little of the ease, a little of the stress off the family and make it a little easier for the person so that their bills can keep getting paid by someone they can trust. Our LGBTQ community, a very at times can be isolated community. It's not what we want. We want them to be included. Bergen County Division of Senior Services, platinum certified with the SAGE folks, and that means that all of our staff have competency training every year to maintain that certification. So now we've been able to add the LGBTQ and the LGBTQ plus alliance that's been adding things like social opportunities and support groups. They meet once a month in person, they meet virtually. So we're adding stuff, and every day it changes on a dime, as you're all aware. When it comes to COVID, you turn on the TV at 9 o'clock in the morning, the news says one thing. You turn on the TV at noon to eat lunch and the news says something different. So we're doing our best to keep up with that.
Yeah, and I really, my gratitude on behalf of our community that you and the whole team there have been so responsive. I remember early on, even, the challenges with, you've got so many programs that, it's wonderful to hear about what you've added, but you had so many key programs that were in place and trying to figure out how to keep them going and not, disrupting them because they were already providing such a great service. I'm thinking about Meals on Wheels and, so many others. So could you talk a little bit about like, what are, what are the, in regular times, not just, our COVID days now, what are the programs that, I loved hearing about the Silver Bills, and, that I'm so glad that you shared that. And again, to our viewers, that YWTV is really all about, it's a kind of the good old fashioned telephone game. You heard something, share it with someone else in your community. I mean, what an amazing resource to know that exists for our community and has been added based on need. But there were so many historic programs that you had been doing and that you still were able to maintain because of everyone's flexibility and the county's flexibility, which, sometimes people think government is not flexible. But so, kudos to you and the county executive and the team there for, making that happen. So what are some of the historic programs that, seniors can, you do get the calls for, that people need help and that you all are able to respond to?
So all across COVID, pre-COVID, hopefully there'll be a post-COVID soon.
Yes.
We get anywhere from 12 to 15,000 calls just at our office alone. And those calls generally surround home care, transportation, housing, and how to save money. So we've even added this benefits enrollment center that is funded by the National Council on Aging. So when folks call us and say, how do I save money? We hook them up with this group that's going to do this comprehensive assessment and say, these are the ways to save money. But there are so many providers we had in place pre-COVID. Heightened Independence in Progress works with the folks that are 18 to 59. They have a huge array of programs, and they're also one of the point people for the Access Link, which is transportation for folks with disabilities. Our Jewish Family Children's Services in Teaneck has a food pantry. They work with Holocaust survivors. They have mental health services. They also have private care management. Bergen Family Center in Englewood has a social adult day program. The JCC has a lending library to make sure that folks can get iPads. It's time to connect in. Prior to COVID, people were still very much on Facebook, and they wanted to connect with their family and friends. And what a great way to see your great-grandchildren, your grandchildren, your sisters, brothers, nephews, cousins, neighbors, and to be able to connect in these ways. Transportation was always available to food pantries. I'm glad you mentioned Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, they are my heroes. They really talk about a group that took the bull by the horns. This is a group of people that Meals on Wheels, and we're just Bergen County Meals on Wheels. So there's also Jewish Meals on Wheels, the kosher Meals on Wheels, there's community meals, and there's Northern New Jersey Meals on Wheels. So just us, we were providing just about 30,000 meals a month prior to COVID.
Yes, unbelievable.
It blew my mind. And then COVID hit and all these folks were sheltering in place, and our numbers went up exponentially. And we started putting meals in random freezers to make sure there was food for folks. We were hooking up with as many food pantries, as many places as possible to get people food, to get them protective underwear. I mean, we take for granted a lot of the things we can get when we can just drive somewhere or have someone drive us, or we hop in a cab, or we hop on community transportation. But once that's robbed from us, and even prior to that, it was difficult. It's hard to go shopping with a walker. It's hard.
It is.
So there was always folks that were doing grocery shopping for folks, but now it's become even more important. So a lot of our services were in place and have just become all the more important. And Bergen County Division of Senior Services, we've been around since, like I said, 1965. We're the first, and yet we still get phone calls going, I didn't even know you guys existed. It's like, what am I doing wrong? How do we get the word out? So please tell your friends and families. There's a wealth of knowledge and information in our office, and we want to share it with you so you can live more independently and with more dignity, and you can, as a caregiver, take a break.
Well, and I think the getting the word out is so important. And again, we have the links here for our viewers. You can go right to the County of Bergen's website, and all of the programs that Brianna is sharing with us right now, which again are mind blowing. I mean, I knew about Meals on Wheels and the impact that they've had, but think about that, folks, 30,000 meals a day.
No, a month.
A month. I'm sorry, 30,000 meals a month. And I knew meant the month, but a month. I mean, that's astronomical. What's coming out of this department and the work that's being coordinated, and that's just one piece of so much. So please go to the website and make sure that the seniors in your life know that this resource exists. I know sometimes people think, oh, this is only for people, that are, fit into a certain box. This, these programs are open to any county residents. There, maybe different qualifications for them individually, but, any county resident can go to it and learn and see what they can, benefit from, that the county has created. And, I can say at 52, I mean, becoming a senior happens quickly. The years pass. And I can also say, as someone who's a caregiver of a senior, that, it's a lot. And knowing that there is a resource and a haven like this, I mean, it's everything from, emotionally and physically a lot to take care of someone, but financially can be a lot to take care of someone. And having a resource like this right here in your community that is, so comprehensive is amazing. So let's talk a little bit. I mean, we mentioned how COVID impacted our senior community. And we mentioned some of the programs that you all jumped in with to be able to help that piece of it. But one of the pieces that you've always had in place, and this is one of the areas where we partner as, two organizations together, have been, the work in a lot of the senior centers around our county. And, those were facilities that did at one point, shut down, during the height of, what was going on, and have since, reopened. Can we talk a little bit about some of the activities that you all promote in the Senior Activity Center? And activity, I guess, is key word there, and the importance of activity at this age and stage in life, to be able to stay, both mentally and physically healthy.
Sure. Our county runs 10 senior centers just for us. However, there are 71 municipalities, and many of them have municipal senior centers and nonprofit senior centers. And I'd just also like to say they also stepped up to the plate during COVID. Many of them were dropping care packages off to folks so they could do Zoom, whether it was boxing or jewelry. I mean, they really were making sure the folks had the tools to do it in their home while they were on Zoom. I've gone to the senior centers. I've seen Zumba. I've seen ESL classes, computer classes. The benefit enrollment centers go there. Board of Social Services go there. We've seen, one of my favorites is belly dancing. Personally, I don't think my body moves that way, and I'm pretty young, folks. So I encourage you to try the old belly dancing. It's very fascinating. Woodworking, sculpting, all sorts of different stuff. We really want, I read an article not that long ago that says it's not about bingo anymore. So when I first got into recreation therapy quite a few years ago, bingo was still very big. But as times have changed, bingo really has fallen a little bit, while still very important because it's numbers and letters, and it's many of the things that our folks still remember as their brains may have impairments. But folks are more interested in learning Spanish. They're more interested in learning how the computer, like today, getting on Facebook without someone, playing with it, maybe even knowing it's called an iPad and not a doohickey.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many different things. We also have programs where, you can learn to sit in your car properly with the pillow right and adjust properly. Socialization is so key. And speaking of sitting properly, I don't know how many of you right now are crunched over. I know it. Sitting up straight, being around people, it's so important. It's good for your body. You breathe differently. Your posture is different. Being in the house all day will exacerbate health issues. So whether you take a ride with our communication offerings to get to our senior centers just to pick up the lunch and go, that's okay. Or if you stay around to do Zumba, that's great too. But if you're interested in finding out what our senior centers have, on our website, the 10 senior centers have their calendars on there. You can take a peek at that. And I just also want to say our website has a lot of information. There's the key services guide is on there. That's a very brief. It's only 70 pages of providers in Bergen County. There's the quick guide. It is a overview of some of the federal, county and state programs, the financial requirements for those, how to get in touch with the wellness check program, Meals on Wheels, all sorts of different stuff is on our website. So I really encourage you to take a moment to just kind of scroll through it.
Yes, and again, there's so much happening at the senior centers. So I do encourage folks to, check them out and learn about them. I can share that the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, because of our partnership with the county, we provide free on-site fitness classes in Bergenfield, Elmwood Park, Garfield, Hackensack, Ridgefield Park, Northwest, Midland Park, and Southwest in East Rutherford. And those are in person. We also have, thanks again to the generous support from the county, a number of online virtual classes, from Zumba to Fit and Fabulous to chair yoga to Tai Chi. So many great classes. And again, I can attest to this since my mom takes so many of them. mostly the seated ones because she's 91 and has a walker herself, so she can't stand for any of them. And I share that because sometimes people think, oh, I'm just not steady enough on my feet. I can't benefit from these classes. No one is more unsteady than my mom, and she is able to do a whole host of the classes, and she has felt so much stronger physically from them. I mean, her doctors see a change. She feels like she has some activity during her day. She sleeps better, at night, which has historically been an issue for her. When she has the days that she's active with the classes, she loves the relationships that she's created, even though they're virtually, with the group. Really a wonderful synergy has happened by the folks that take the class, and the teachers, I will say, are all amazing. And, not only do they provide such great, physical direction, they really, really, I think, helped with the isolation issues that so many of our seniors are feeling, by creating just this like wonderful place that the seniors love to come to virtually. And in addition to that, so we have those, senior activities with the fitness. Thanks to, again, the generous funding, we also have a wonderful group now that is a talking group, that a lot of our seniors have come together with a wonderful licensed facilitator. And, they're able to, talk through some of the emotional challenges, of aging, and the unique challenges of aging during this time. So that's another opportunity. And also thanks to our, again, wonderful partnership with the county, we're able to offer Friendship Friday events, which at least once or twice a month on Fridays. And, we have different speakers that come in and focus on conversations. And for the first time, and I think it's next Tuesday, we're hosting our first book club,
Cool.
which is connected from the funding from the county as well. And I actually have the book in the house because I bought it for my mother, and she's been, reading it. So there are really so many opportunities. So even if you don't feel safe right now, especially, to get out, or with the weather in the winter being the way it is, you don't have to feel like you can't participate. There's so much being offered virtually, and all of that is available on the county website. It's also available on our YWCA website. We have links to both here. And let me just say, the great thing about the programs are they're all free for our Bergen County residents, thanks to the generous funding of the county. And all you have to do is register, and then you get a Zoom link for the ones that are online, and you can partake. We've had such tremendous feedback, Brianna, from those that take the classes. Can you speak a little bit on your end about that virtual option and what, it's, how it's really impacted our seniors?
Oh, well, again, you know what? We had a moment where no one was leaving their homes, and this was the connection to the world. This was how they were seeing their friends and getting out. This was that moment of socialization, that deep breath for the day. But it was also so key for caregivers. The caregiver, I will never negate first responders and the jobs of doctors and lawyers and all that. But we really have to put caregivers at the top of the list of one of the hardest jobs in the world. And when we start to take away the programs that allowed them relief, it not only is a detriment to the person who the program was serving, but a detriment to the program who it was, who's, providing for, as well as a secondary benefit. So when folks went virtual, once we really started to get the iPad out there, we were working with Heightened Independence in Progress to get folks training on the technology. We were really not only were we getting more folks, because we found that a lot of our caregivers were maybe not able to leave the home for the ones they were caring for, or they just had such a long day at work, making another trip wasn't so great for them, or they just needed 10 minutes and they needed to get mom and dad into a program to help them. But we've gotten a lot of positive feedback that we've been able to maintain this quality of program for them, even though they may not be able to get out anymore.
Yeah.
We did notice that when people started sheltering in place, more caregivers became aware of perhaps the needs of their family members. So while there was a major uptick in services, and since, things have gotten into place and now people are going back out and shopping again, and people are going back to, centers and whatnot, although it is a limited capacity. Please keep that in mind. You will need to register. We have found that, that the folks, I lost my train of thought, Helen.
Well, that happens, right, to all of us.
My apologies.
No matter what age we are, that happens.
It really does. But we really have found a lot of positive feedback for the programs to make sure that people are still getting the services that they require for their quality.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. And like I said, I see it, here with my mother. I hear it with the other ladies that are, mostly ladies on the group classes that she's taking. And I can just say the expanded offerings that we've been able to add in as we kicked off the new year because of the additional funding have been very quickly embraced. And it's, I think, we forget, obviously now we're in more because of COVID, but, during the bad weather, whether even a rainstorm, sometimes seniors don't always feel, any of us don't feel great to get in the car and go somewhere. So it's nice to be able to have the option that those days you can do something virtually and not have to give up that part of your, activity for the day. So, so thank you to the county. Thank you to all of you that have kept these programs going and have really listened to the need, been so, focused on this community. We often see, as advocates that, our seniors don't have that same kind of voice, as other age groups because they, are overwhelmed with health issues sometimes, or, not so easy for them to navigate our complex systems. But, grateful that we have folks like Brianna, nestled in the county and, around the state that have really, listened and helped develop such key programming. Shout out to our team at the YWCA, who, did the pivot as well to make sure that no one lost out on, the great programming that we had started together, and, everyone being so creative to continue to see what else we can add and do. So with that, I just want to make sure again that that the links are in the comments so that you can go and learn not only about what Brianna mentioned, but everything she didn't mention, because there is so much more information there. We don't have enough time to cover it all, but we may do this again. There's so much happening over in her department at the county. So there sure will be other opportunities for us to be talking. But until then, please, whether you're a caregiver, whether you're a senior, check it out and see what's there. You also have our links if you want to join any of our programs. And again, they're no charge. You just can register online and you'll get the Zoom link sent right to you. Just to quick, again, update January 3rd, which of course started already. We kicked off and it's going to go till March 21st. Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Mondays at 11 a.m., which is the online Zoom, which we have our from the Center for Purposeful Aging, Sarah Hiller-Burson, a licensed clinical social worker who facilitates the conversations there. Again, no charge, funded by the county. Our Friendship Friday on January 14th, which is this Friday from 11:30 to 12:30. There is a conversation that Sarah is leading, a little bit different. So anyone should be, feel free to join that. On January 18th, we're kicking off our book club for our seniors, and they'll be the inaugural book club are reading Growing Old, Notes on Aging with Something Like Grace by Elizabeth Marshall Thomas. So it's not an overwhelmingly large book. I as I said, have it here. I should have brought it in and to show it to everyone, but that'll be a facilitated discussion, talking about the book and everyone's feelings about it. And then again, senior fitness classes, chair yoga, Zumba, Fit and Fabulous, Tai Chi, all these great offerings, all free of charge. So we thank you, Brianna, for taking this time with us this morning and helping us spotlight this really, wonderful resource in our community for, such a big part of our community numbers wise. And again, as you said, so many people may not be aware of, all the great options and resources that you have. So please check them out. And, here's the thing, folks, we're eventually all aging every day. So it's good to just know about them so that you can tell people in your life in case they come again, comes up in a conversation that you're just aware. As we say, YWTV is about sharing information. You can do that by sharing this broadcast easily off our Facebook page. You can copy the link, text it to someone in your life that you think would benefit from hearing all the great information Brianna shared. You can send it in Messenger to someone. You can share it to your Facebook page. But please share this important information. You never know. It really, not only does it could save a life, but it definitely makes a life better for sure. Having all these great resources. So everyone, be safe, stay active, be well. Brianna, thank you again to you and the entire team over there. We're so grateful for the partnership and look forward to doing more with you over time. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.